Hello again everybody, welcome back. Today is the 25th of June. Emmett here is 3 weeks old today. I wanted to take this time to kind of go over a bit of our birth story with you and let you know how things went. The day before, the actual night before, Brad and I didn't get any sleep. I was having regular contractions right through the night from probably about 11 o'clock in the at night. Sorry, this basket's bugging me. From about 11 o'clock at night until about 5 o'clock in the morning when they finally dwindled away. So enough to keep us up all night wondering in anticipation and what's going on. Nothing was really changing or getting closer or anything like that, but it was enough to keep us awake. And then through the day on the 3rd, they were gone. They petered away and were doing nothing. I did some gardening and did some weeding and things like that, and nothing really happened at all. And then bedtime kind of was rolling around again, probably actually about 6-7 o'clock at night, and the contractions were coming again. And still fairly irregular at that point, maybe 6 to 8 minutes apart, but fairly intense, definitely different, and yeah, we're building. So around probably 8-9 o'clock we gave the midwife a call and just kind of said, hey, this is what's going on. This time definitely feels a little bit different than last time, and I think this might be the night. And we were right. At that time she told us to take some gravel, go to bed, and let her know when things kind of really get going. So when we hit that 411 mark, when contractions are happening 4 minutes apart, lasting at least a minute long, and we're there consistently for over an hour. So needless to say, gravel didn't work. I took a gravel. Are you fussing? There we go. Oh, I'm just gonna move his head a little bit. There we go. There you go. Hi. Oh, we might end up rooting through this. We'll see if this gets finished or not. I took a gravel, Brad took Benadryl because he can't take gravel, and we tried to get some sleep. The contractions, I think, were already starting to ramp up, and it just wasn't happening. About 2 hours later, I put on the TENS machine and tried to buy us some more time. They were getting really intense, but they still weren't quite at that 4-minute mark where I was wanting to call our midwife. So we just kind of hunkered in. Brad did get a little bit of sleep. I ended up pacing and moving around, rolling around on the ball out in the front room for a bit, and it just was slow going. But at the same time, not really, but it felt like time was just creeping along. I don't really think the gravel helped me at all. I think if anything it hindered. It took away my ability to breathe and concentrate through things. How I would normally breathe through pain was out the window, and I was huffing and puffing like, yeah, a dragon. It was crazy. But really, it did okay. I did do a review on the TENS machine before I took it back. I just haven't uploaded and edited that video yet. It was okay. It probably bought us a bit of time, but it was definitely not our main source of like getting through the pain. And yeah, it was just kind of awkward really. So I put that on for a bit and hung out front, and I'd say that it was a little after midnight, 1 o'clock, when things started getting really more intense, and we went from like 5 minutes, 6 minutes to like 3 minutes apart. We skipped the 4 minutes apart. Things got really intense. Was like in the bathroom feeling like I gotta push. There's like so much pressure and stuff like that. So at that point, Brad's on the phone with the midwife, and she was on her way over. She got to our house probably a little bit before 2 o'clock, and immediately was like, take that TENS machine off and get in the hot tub. And so at that point, we took the TENS machine off, got in the hot tub, and was able to kind of relax and get through quite a few more of the contractions. Before we got in the hot tub, obviously she did check my dilation. That was the first time that I'd been checked, and I was like, at first just felt horrible. She was like, we're at 2, and I'm like, 2? Are you kidding? And I hadn't had any bloody show, I hadn't lost a plug or anything like that, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like we're so much further along than this. So but as she was checking, she's like, nope, we're at 3, we're at 4, we're at 4.5, and I was just kind of opening as she was there. So, and I was at about 4.5. She's like, okay, we're good, get in the hot tub and we'll get things kind of going. So I was GBS positive and needed to get antibiotics. So at that point, when in the hot tub, she started an IV, gave me my first dose of IV antibiotics, and just wrote out probably a good hour's worth of contractions at that point. And then I got that urge to push again, and I'm like, it's all kind of low. I never had any back labor or back pains. It was all really just front crampy pains, with the occasional time where I would get that really low, I need to poop kind of feeling. TMI, I know, I'm sorry, but if you're watching this, that's just what you're getting. So got up to the bathroom with Brad. The midwife, I believe, was on the phone at that point, and she was charting away the whole time. So we got onto the toilet, and poof, my water broke on the toilet. No mess, no fuss, it was great. It was clear, no problems, everything seemed fine. So that kind of was a relief for everybody. It's like, okay, things will progress. I believe I went back in the hot tub for a little bit after that, but I didn't find it was quite doing what it was doing before. So I spent some time on my side on the bed and worked through some contractions that way. And she checked me again, and we were at 6 centimeters dilated. And I'm like, we have been through so much work to only get 2 centimeters, and I was just kind of heartbroken, and I felt like I was going nowhere. Even though we finally had some active signs like water breaking, but I'm like, water break like days before, realistically. I didn't have much bloody show even at that point, but there was a little bit when she would check me. Hello, little man. At that point, she offered to try and help my cervix along, and it was the most painful thing. I'm not sure, she didn't tell me what she was actually doing, but she was in there and she was moving my cervix and trying to open it further to kind of get us there a little faster. I think she could tell I was frantic and not seeing the results that I thought I was going to see, and that it just wasn't quite maybe prepared for how long this could take. Anyway, she did some moves and it hurt like heck, and she warned me that women kick and are horrible and that it was going to be very painful, and it was probably one of the most painful parts of the labor. But at the same time, she took me from 6 centimeters to 9 in a lip. So I think the amount of time that she took off of the labor, and at that point my ability to get to the next step, it was like the whole labor, it was like, just need to make it to the next stage, I just need to make it to the next stage kind of thing, and see progression mentality wise to feel like I could do it. So she got me to that point where I'm like, okay, we're almost there, I will be able to push soon. And yeah. So at that point we were at this 9 in a lip and getting really nowhere. I didn't feel comfortable going back in the hot tub after my water broke, so sorry about the rocking in the chair here, I hope it's not distracting, but it's soothing little man here. So I did go in the bathtub for a little bit, I don't think that lasted very long. It couldn't get in a comfortable position. We do have a bigger bathtub than a traditional bathtub, nothing big and jetted or anything like that. She poured some water over my belly and gave me something to focus on, and I think that helped for a little bit. And then again, back on the bed. And when I say we get back on the bed, it was like you couldn't even get from one end of the room to the other without having contractions. I was like, okay, I'm in the bathtub. Okay, I'm now kneeling on the floor beside the bed and having another one, to then making it into the bed to have another one. They were coming so close together. Are we waking up? Nope. So after we did get back in bed, I think I spent actually quite a bit of time trying to get that last ½ centimeter lip dilated, and it took forever. And finally, she did help even that along and got the lip over. At that point, she phones a second midwife to come in, but really it's like, it's go time, we're gonna push. So we started pushing. I pushed for an hour and 10 minutes, I was told, which I guess is pretty good. They say like 20 minutes to 2 hours. I'm like, 20 minutes? No, I can't do it. To having to push for an hour and 10 minutes before we finally got this little guy out. I was on the bed with support from them and pulling on my legs and pushing through those contractions like no other. I thought my head was going to explode. But it was worth it. We did eventually get him out. Brad was an integral part of all of this. He was so supportive right through by my side, and then through the pushing was up there helping support my legs, and just the most amazing man in my life. He is awesome. And he was able to help our midwives catch this little guy and put him up on our chest. We had quite a short umbilical cord, so he couldn't even make it all the way up. Kind of was like down on my belly, rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. He was very blue, purple for quite a while. They did have to do some suctioning to clear the secretions and get him breathing a bit better. But honestly, he pinked up right away and did really good. He was so alert, so alert. As a nurse and in school and training, I did watch a few births, both medicated and non-medicated, and that was the one thing that I didn't want to really make my baby sleepy. I wanted them to be alert and ready to go right from that get-go. Are you okay? We're almost done. You're bored now. So we, at that point, took some time. We did wait and do the delayed cord clamping until it had stopped pulsating. That was just the midwife's way of doing it. It wasn't even that we asked for that, but I was really glad that that could happen. So after he did pink up and we were able to clamp the cord, Brad was able to cut the cord, and he got to spend some time skin to skin on my chest, just alert. Didn't really kind of get the whole breastfeeding thing right off the bat there, but was definitely making an effort. He then spent some time with Brad, just wide awake, staring up at the walls, while I was able to have a shower and the midwives were able to do some laundry, and it was just amazing. It really was. I can't believe that I could do it. I definitely, hands down, say that my midwife totally helped me through that. Points where I just didn't think we were going to progress anywhere. That was the thing with my mom's 2 labors, that she had a C-section with me and Pitocin with my brother, that she just didn't progress. So that was one big fear that I had, is that I wasn't going to be able to progress, and I probably could have. I definitely did some of the work on my own, but she was amazing, and hands down having Brad there beside me at the hot tub and through everything, I could just look up and see him. It was just knowing that he was there. It was just phenomenal. Yeah, I definitely don't think that the experience would have gone that way if I was at the hospital. I know that husbands are still quite involved, but that he was right in there and able to be even hands-on, even maybe more than he was comfortable with at the time, but definitely was good for him and such a bonding experience for everybody. Anyway, this is getting a little long, so I think that is about it. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments below, and I can go into more detail with that. So let me just lean forward here, show you the little guy, his lips all hooked there. He's doing so good. I'll do an update on how he's been doing and how everything's been going shortly, but for now, that's our birth story. Hey Emmett, that's how you came here, in our home birth. Talking to people, they're like, first time home birth, you're amazing. I feel amazing. I do. It was just amazing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. I'll talk to you next time.